Jewell Endicott, and I'm from the Uniontown FFA chapter. It's a hot summer day, and you come inside the house and reach for a cold glass of water. While rehydrating, the thought crosses your mind. Where did this water originate from? The truth is, this water may have traveled through rivers, ponds, groundwater, or even rain clouds to reach the bottom of your glass. If you're like me, you probably see and notice all sorts of bodies of water as you travel up and down local roads and highways. But how often have you stopped and thought about the purposes of these bodies of water that you see? The fact is, any pond that you see could be preventing floods from coming through neighborhoods or providing public water to numerous homes. We take for granted the water that is in our hands that comes to us at the turn of a handle. But a lot of this water could be coming from watersheds. Now, you may be wondering, what is a watershed? Watersheds are essentially water structures designed for water that is shed during rainfall in a specific area contained by a man-made dam. Recreation is an added benefit of watersheds and provides yet another use for these bodies of water. Without this added purpose, watersheds may sit unused for months. Landowners may add fish to their ponds and lakes for fishing purposes, or use these water bodies to hunt on and utilize the habitat year-round for enjoyment. Watersheds are first thought of as preventing floods, but another important feature is they are designed to release extra water so that it can continue its flow into natural rivers. Watersheds were first put in place in the 1950s, with the main goal of slowing the income of water and preventing floods. After being used to prevent excessive amounts of water from coming through neighborhoods, they have been built in various places across the United States. Today, watersheds have grown by adding many more purposes. They filtrate water, create habitats, prevent droughts in rural areas, and most importantly, provide public drinking water. Water from hundreds of different sources accumulates into one water. In my local area of Bourbon County, there are two major rivers we get water from. The first being Mill Creek, which was established in 1978. This river has 14 watersheds. The Marlton was established in 1984, following a major flood in the Fort Scott area, which damaged local businesses and livestock. This river is slightly larger with 30 completed watersheds. In a recent event of flooding, which occurred in April 2024, the county claimed there is $9 million worth of damages. While this shows watersheds may have prevented some of the flooding that occurred, in the case of having had more watersheds in the area, we could have lowered the dollar amount of damages and the amount of water on roads. If we had had more watersheds in the area, we also could have collected and utilized more of this rainfall to prevent droughts going forward. To understand watersheds, it is important to look at them from different points of view. Some would argue they are against watersheds because they take up land that they could plant valuable crops on. Or in their opinion, we are harming the earth when we build these man-made structures. After looking closer, you would see that not only do they end up helping the planet, they also support inhabitants downstream. While it is true you may be losing the use of that land, it is beneficial that the average watershed can hold up to 600 acres worth of water. This water can be used all around the farm and help the area continue to thrive, making up for the loss of that land. Many would agree we do not want to harm the earth we inhabit. I believe we should preserve nature by not letting it harm its natural state. But I also believe watersheds have an impact that is worth it. At first, people see them being built with big machines and digging into the soil, which I'm sure causes some feelings of bitterness about the consequences of manipulating the land. But after they are made and the equipment clears out is when they make the strongest impact on our ecosystem, and we can begin to see the benefits it has on nature. Before being rebuilt, that area did not have a constant source of water to rely on, nor did it help the area to prevent possible flooding. Ranchers are often fond of watersheds because they prevent because they supply water to cattle through the cold months, which makes it much easier to keep livestock watered. Additionally, watersheds generally maintain water through droughts and hot summer months. The creation of this savior is a multi-step process that begins when a skilled engineer comes to the expected watershed area and analyzes the land. After seeing if the site will benefit the area and collect enough water instead of harming it, plans are made for construction of the unit. To build this structure, money must be collected. Funding is accomplished by pulling money from the state and local levels, combined with local landowners. The State Conservation Commission supplies the majority of the funding necessary, equaling nearly 70%. Local watershed districts supply 25% through local taxes, and landowners supply the final 5%. A maintenance budget is established at this time to keep the watershed from running down over the years. Many would agree, no matter our opinions or views on topics, water is essential to the planet. I am a strong advocate for preserving nature by not letting anyone impair it. However, I can see that water conservation is essential to the planet. Watersheds serve the purpose of conserving one of our most precious resources, water. Thank you.
Jewell, thank you very much for your presentation. I have a question, if you could tell us a little bit more about what motivated you to choose that particular topic, that watershed district, and a little bit about your background with references.
I chose watersheds mainly because they're kind of significant in the area that I'm in, and there's a lot of them, so they really impact how the area works. And so I see a lot of them, and my aunt's farm and stuff, we have some, so it's important to know just how they work. And so I've talked to some other skilled people in the area, and they've given me some facts about it. And so I've just really learned how they work and how they affect the area that I'm in.
Thank you.
Yeah, very nice job. I loved your on-stage presence. You seem very confident. Kind of walk me through, because this is not the easiest topic to just the general public. What was your approach in taking something kind of complicated into something more digestible?
So watersheds are pretty complicated, but just making it able for everybody else to understand, kind of breaking it down into the benefits and why people don't like them, or just certain areas, why they're different, and then as well as the funding, because it goes into how they're made, and then if they just don't really believe in watersheds, then I gave some kind of examples of how they benefit the area and just help the planet overall with water conservation.
Nice.
I agree with the other two judges. So a quick follow-up on the environmental side of things. What challenges did you find when you were researching with the folks that are in the know on this? Some of those environmental challenges that we might face as we look to build more watershed structures.
So a lot of the environmental challenges would be whether or not it's actually going to benefit the land, because you don't want to spend the money and everything to build it and then it's not actually going to help. So it's important to look at all the factors that go into it and that you're actually going to help by building this, and it takes a long process to actually be able to get to that point. So it's really important just for the environmental side to go through all of those steps.